All right. Welcome back to another episode of Your Words, Your Voice. I am your host, James Hopkins, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Zion Washington, and my
Welcome back,
second
everybody.
co-host, Mr. Bully. Bully, say something to him. All right. All right, that's enough talking for you, Mr. Bully. Today we have our special guest.
Oh, boy.
We have Mr. Benny Foster Jr.,
Yes, sir.
and we also have Miss Lisa Foster.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Ben, we're going to go ahead and put you on the hot seat. Zion, set him on fire.
Hot seat.
All right, so we're going to begin with our first question here, right on into it. So, Benny, for listeners who may not know you yet, how do you describe yourself or who you are beyond politics?
Servant leader. Have been a servant leader, mentorship coach, community advocate, community resource person. I've always been a person who see the need and identify with the people's hearts and in some type of way be able to put all the pieces together. So I'm just a humanitarian that wants to help.
Okay. And you actually graduated from Jackson State University.
From Jackson State, D.I. Love, baby,
Yes,
and
sir.
Callaway High School,
And
which
Callaway
we were
High
there
School.
earlier with a great opportunity to speak to the children about gun violence, and I love that because no one was really bridging the college to the high school like that when I was at Callaway, so it was powerful to see you guys do that today.
Yes, sir. And you've had a journey from student athlete at Jackson State to educator and community leader. So what moment shaped you most along your path?
That's a good one. I think the moments, learning to enjoy the journey, realizing that the journey is much more important than the destination. If you guys are familiar with certain, I guess I'd say, audio-visual works such as The Alchemist and Slumdog Millionaire, and even the biblical story of Joseph, everything that they needed at the end, they acquired on the journey. And so God is showing me that on my journey, every bad, ugly, and good thing is for the journey.
Okay.
It's for the establishment of what He would like to happen in the earth. So I'm excited about that. Every day is a part of the journey.
Yes,
So,
sir.
speaking of journey, you graduated from Callaway, and
Yes,
then
sir.
you graduated from Jackson State.
Mhm.
So where did your journeys take you after college before bringing you back to Mississippi?
I ran away from here in 1996 to Atlanta.
Okay.
I had good reason to. There were drugs and gangs that were beginning to literally infiltrate our streets. I grew up over by Sunset Drive, Moonbeam,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. B's. Yeah, you know, he may not know.
I know.
And it was a popular spot, at 18 to get in, 21 to drink, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And some of us in there 16, 17 years old. And that was cool because that's part of life. But when the gangs came and people that were once friends, and we literally had to go down the street and help one of my friends leave his grandmother's house because one gang began to declare that was their territory, and it was where his grandmother lived. And he lived in another area where another gang had established that was their area. And so I saw this. I was living through this, but luckily basketball and track coaches and teachers like Miss Terry over at Callaway, she ended up being the principal of Bailey Alternative when it switched. That was one of my favorite teachers, and Coach Macbeth, rest in peace, my track coach, who say, Foster, I see something better in you. That's why I'm so strong on mentorship, and that's why I'm so strong on pouring into our future leaders today. How can we expect them to lead us tomorrow if we don't pour into them today? And so when I left because of that. I was running. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to be caught up with some of the things that my homeboys were getting caught up with. And so my alternative was to dream big. I had visited Atlanta, and it was very interesting when I went to Atlanta. I stayed one day later, and it was because we needed gas money. And one of my older frats said, y'all come up to my job and give y'all some gas money, something to get some food with. But when I went downtown Atlanta, I saw black men and black women in suits. I saw them suited and booted. I didn't see much of that in Jackson.
Right.
And I saw a whole different world just from staying one day late in a city that we had went down to party in. But the next day it was about business.
Wow.
And I saw these people, and it made me say, I'm going to go to Atlanta. So years later, that affected my decision. Got there, got into education, lived there for a while, and that's why I discovered my gift to be able to tap into, I guess I could say, gifts and talents on the inside of people that people didn't necessarily see leadership in, or that they didn't necessarily see something good in.
Right.
They would send the troubled children to the 6'3", 280-some pound African-American male teacher who had the deep voice but could also be animated and funny and interactive and engaging. And so I found a niche of mentorship before mentorship was a buzzword. Okay. And then, of course, I met this beautiful lady later down the line. Her and we have a love story out of this world. And after that, we decided to move to Miami. And Miami was where I thought I was going to really just kind of like grow old and die. You know, pop up every now and again and say, hey, I'll hit it back to Miami. Right. But I can truly say that there was a pulling on my heart to come back. I would not have met people like you. And by the way, I want to take this opportunity to say that you strongly impressed me on your campaign. I saw your heart on so many levels. There were times that I was in the room and you didn't know I was in the room. And I heard your story, just like a brother, Zach, who we are becoming close friends. I saw so many people who had a heart for the city. Right. And I reached out to you and I, of course, shared this with you. But at one point, I wish we could have took a whole bunch of people and put them together.
That's right. Made one person.
Made one person for the mayor. But you were one of the people that I truly saw had a passion for this city, man. And that meant the world to me because then I realized I wasn't like one of the only ones that had, the passion for a difference in the city. So hopefully I didn't jump around too much. But
No, sir. No,
you answered the question.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've had me and Benny Foster and Miss Foster have had a lot of opportunities to interact on a more personal level, and it seems like right now your magnum opus is running for Mississippi's 2nd Congressional District. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Reimagine Mississippi. You can't reimagine if you can't think differently. I've been here, and there are 3 things. I'll throw them out there real quick, and we can all talk about it. I don't want to change your format or anything, but there are 3 things that I've seen that are the challenges here in Jackson. The first thing is, if it's not my idea, if it's not my concept, I'm going to take my ball and leave.
You're going to make
so
somebody
nobody
mad
can play.
You're going to make some people mad.
That's the first one.
Go ahead.
Right? And because when I first came back, I was trying to get strongly involved with the youth, and there were glass doors and invisible ceilings that I was hitting, and I was trying to figure it out. And then I realized that it wasn't about me. It was just the culture of the city.
The city. Right.
If somebody can't, I guess I say, green light you or nod you in, it's like we don't want, even if you got 100% of the answers, we don't want it. And so, the second reason is there is such a thing called capacity. And if people can't comprehend the practicality or the simplicity of a solution, if they can't comprehend it, then they can't understand the impact of the capacity that it will make if they implement it.
Right.
Meaning, I'm not going to try it because I don't see how that is the answer.
Right.
And then, again, it's people sitting high making decisions for not just themselves, but the citizens of Jackson.
Right.
And last but not least, it seems like we can't stick and stay. Excuse me. Last but not least, it's like we can't stick and stay for nothing concerning synergy and networking and working together and partnering and collaborating and venture capital together, and going after things together. It's like one person will have an issue with someone, and the next thing you know, the whole team has fell apart.
Right.
Because now you feel like, well, I need to take James' side. Because, he could have said it different. Yeah, James do be tripping, but it's the way Zion said it. And I've seen this. I've seen it, some of the greatest opportunities to change the momentum of this city. And so with those 3 things, I don't care who idea it is. Let's get it. Right. Let's implement it. I have the comprehension and can build to capacity because I realize I'm not going to lead everything. Matter of fact, I'm looking for young leaders that we can pour into and prepare them for what's next. And last but not least, I love unity. I know that in unity is the presence and power of God.
Right.
And that's why it's such a decisive division by design to keep us so separated.
Right.
black, white, Jew, Gentile, sinner, saint, Muslim, Christian. You know, it's so many different reasons why we can't come together and be the solution together.
Right.
And so those are the three reasons why I feel like God has ushered me in, because I don't care about the credit. I understand that some of the most practical things can be the biggest solution. And last but not least, I know that it's going to take a team. It's not about me. It's not about me putting the cape on, saying, hey, I came to save y'all. But it's about us showing them how to put their own capes on,
Right.
and supporting them.
Okay. Some people will say, you know, because you'll actually be competitor to Congressman Benny Thompson. So what do you say for people who ask you, Miss Amanda?
She had started already.
I'm sorry about that. There may be people who wonder, why go for that U.S. Congressman seat against someone who's been there for so long when there's a seat open that Mayor Horn had to vacate? And what's your response to questions like that?
Living in the 2nd Congressional District since I've been back for 4 years, my wife and I have been very instrumental in bringing some resources to this area. And when we were pushing, meeting, talking to people about expanding broadband, in the 2nd Congressional District kept coming up as one of the most impoverished areas, underserved areas in the district and the nation. And I kept asking myself, why, right? And so we give honor to Mr. Thompson.
Right.
We give honors for his 32 years of service. I particularly can't say anything negative about Mr. Thompson, because he's given 32 years of his life to the people.
Right.
But what I can say is that we're going to have to reimagine Mississippi. If 32 years has not produced anything different, you know, we're going to have to try something different. And what I've seen, just like I've seen you, I've seen Zion, I've seen Zach Service, I've seen Rodney DePriest, I've seen Marcus Wallace, I've seen all these different people that have something that can add to the city. Like I see Mayor John Horn, big shout out to him. I see him joining forces all over the city. He's putting people here, he's putting people there. I don't know if you had an opportunity to speak to him or not, you know, but I do know that he has a heart for the city of Jackson. I do know that he's putting people in position that have a heart for the city of Jackson. So that's a change. That's a change. And so it's not about me saying that I'm coming to go against the incumbent. You would never hear me say anything negative out of my mouth concerning him, you know, because I'm going to give honor where honor is due, but I'm going to ask him to consider passing the torch,
Right.
so we can reimagine Mississippi.
I love it.
That's it. That's all I can say about that situation.
Passing the torch, that's actually a part of your campaign slogan, isn't it? Passing
Yes.
the torch and guiding mentorship, especially for our young people in the city of Jackson as well.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you're practicing what you preach. And so it's going to bridge us into our next question. So you've talked about Mississippians defining their own destiny rather than outsiders. So can you share an example where you've seen local people create solutions for their community, maybe in the city of Jackson, maybe in Atlanta, or wherever you've seen it?
Going back to where I said that I had to kind of get out of my own way when I first got here, I was taking it personal. I mean, I literally was like smelling my breath and smelling under my arm to make sure I wasn't a little tart or something, where people that didn't want to connect with me and ideas that I had. I saw that there were several people being rejected. I saw that there were several leaders going unnoticed. I saw that there's several people that say, I've been trying to do this for 13 years. I've been trying to get this done for 15 years. And I'm asking myself, why, right? Because here I come back 4 years ago, and I'm thinking maybe it's just me. Maybe they don't know I'm from here. Maybe all these things. So what happens is you get agitated, you get frustrated, and you go sit down after so long, because you're like, wow, okay, where do I fit in, right? I see so many people that fit in that have not been given the opportunity to kind of like roll up their sleeves and go to work. So that position, you said, why that position? That position goes back and forth to Washington, D.C., identifying funding, identifying resources, and then identifying capable leaders, coalitions, community groups that can benefit from that financing, from that funding, from those resources. I've seen people literally just getting by with little or nothing and are doing great things with what they have. So I would like to go and identify more resources for them and be the wind beneath their wings as they decide to put on their cape and say, you know what, I did this with little or nothing. Now that I have the support of Congress, now that I have the support of the congressman and his team, we now can do more things and reach more people.
Absolutely. Are there any local organizations in Jackson that you would consider probably funding in the future if you were elected into that position?
There are several people that I know just need really Zion to sit down and learn how to get their own funding. It's not even about me saying I'm gonna cherry pick some people. Some people don't understand the grant process. They don't understand the 501c3 process. We have helped people establish business formation. One young lady, you guys may be familiar with this group that was kicked out of a church. It was a band, and now they are Tougaloo's first band, right? We had a meeting with them, and someone had been promising them 501c3 paperwork for a year. My wife went on her phone and sent it to her in 2 minutes.
Wow.
The girl literally was like, I've been waiting on this for almost 2 years. So those are the things that need to happen, not just going and getting some money and hoping that the people do right with it, but showing people how to sit in positions and be able to be warriors, watchmen, watchwomen on the wall for their city. No one loves their city more than the person that loves their city. So this is not like mayor of Jackson. This is like 28 counties. So in every county, there are champions that wish that they had an opportunity to be a champion for their city.
Right.
So sitting down with them and seeing where the pain points are, sitting down with people such as Zion, people that are on our team now, people that we're identifying in that city, and say, now how can we be a resource? I don't want to be your champion. I want to be your liaison.
Right.
Does everyone understand that? It ain't about me. It's about the mind frame that I'm coming with, that we can duplicate this now in those different areas. And now you are accountable for your city. You are responsible for your city. But if you need a little help, you got somebody on the other end of the phone that can go advocate for you.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
That's a really compelling point that you just made. And just to kind of clarify it, so you're essentially saying that instead of just kind of, instead of trying to just dish out funds, you're trying to teach these community warriors to have the competence, the knowledge, and indoctrinate them with a set of skills that they need so that they can be community warriors even if you aren't in office. So you're trying to kind of pass the torch onto these community organizations as well without just kind of spoon feeding them all the resources they need. And that's a really good mindset to have. So, and you've emphasized youth mentorship and education. So why is that a cornerstone of your platform?
Mentorship saved my life. It put me in position, and I'm going to segue you in because we've been together 10 years now, but she's seen the impact of mentorship that it has had on me with some of my mentors, and she's also seen the impact that mentorship had with some of my mentees that I met maybe when they was in 3rd, 4th grade, and now they're 30, 35 years old, married with children, working, have their own companies, things of that nature. And it's something about being able to see something in a person before they see it, or help them identify with it, and then be in their support. And so, people want to make it about this all the time, like somebody versus somebody.
Right.
It's not somebody versus somebody. It's about how can we better help the people? How can we better position the people? So you want to chime in here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know that leadership is a really important part of this entire platform that we're working to expand over the 28 counties. I think that what's happened is the simplest things, one of the simplest things as just being connected to someone, having someone there to support you, and it's intentional. That's what mentorship is, right? And so a lot of us, all of us, came into this world with parents, but all of us have come into this world under different circumstances, and some of us need extra support. They need outside support. So that's what mentorship does. And we understand that, and one of the common things that Benny and I have in common is that I worked with Big Brothers Big Sisters back in the 90s. And if you are familiar, it's one of the largest, well-known national mentorship organizations across the country. And with that, what I recognized was that people had a reservation about mentoring because they thought that they would lose something, which is time, right? It's precious that you're giving up your time to someone who's not necessarily in your bloodline, your family. But what it does is it actually adds something to another individual who will be a valuable asset to our community just because you invested your time into their lives.
Right.
So we understand the importance of mentorship. You're not losing anything. It actually is a trickle-down effect to everybody who is connected to that person that you made a decision to spend a little time with, to provide a little extra support to. And in our community, we have to do more of that because there's such a great need right now. Young people just need a little extra support.
I want to add that people around the age of 18, 19, and Zion, you fact check us, right? On up to about 40, 45 years old, Brother Hopkins, are asking for a couple of three things. They asking to help someone to help them identify who they possibly could be, meaning they're struggling with identity. They also are saying this word called support. And they say that people our age lack emotion and that we're not in touch with things that are happening. Brother Zion, does that sound about right?
Yes, sir. I mean, especially hitting on that point of identity, I've been stressing this since my time in Jackson that young people have an identity crisis. We need more exposure. We need more opportunities. We need something that these people can confide in that gives them encouragement, a sense of pride, so that way we can continue to uphold this city. And so I want to bring into the next question off of that. Jackson has its struggles, but it also has resilience and beauty. So what's your favorite hidden gem in the city that reminds you why you fight for it?
Think about that question for a moment.
I have it all.
We're gonna take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with the answer to that question.
We got commercials.
We got commercials.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Advertise on WeBelieve.global, a brand new digital media platform. Share your brand with our audience on our many global live stream TV broadcasts and over the radio. For more info, visit WeBelieve.global or call 800-492-5186, option 1.
The Mississippi Link is an African-American female-owned newspaper with a trusted voice that is highly respected throughout the city, state, and nation. Our motto, keepers of the knowledge for people who speak the truth, since 1993. Link significantly influences the thoughts, attitudes, and buying decisions of its readers. Call us at 601-368-8481 for your advertising needs. If you would like to receive a newspaper in the mail each week, our annual subscription is only $52 per year. That is only $1 per week for you to stay informed regarding many stories that you can only get in the Mississippi Link. Sign up today at themississippiLink.com and click on Home Delivery.
We are back. I can't hear myself. But I believe we're back on the air.
Thank you, guys.
I can't hear myself. Can you hear me? Okay, we're back on the air with Mr. Benny Foster Jr. and Miss Lisa Foster. If you want to call in to the show, the number is 601-387-2684. Again, that's 601-387-2684. If you have any questions that you want to ask Mr. Foster or any comments or anything, feel free to use that number. And I believe he's ready to answer any questions you ask. He didn't give me a list of questions to ask him before he got here, so I believe he's going to answer them truthfully.
Yes.
So we're going to get back to the hot seat with Mr. Zion Washington. All right.
All right, so we left off on the next question, which was Jackson has its struggles, but also its resilience and beauty. So what's your favorite hidden gem in the city that reminds you why you fight for it?
Jackson pride, not like pridefulness, but not pride before the fall pride, but like school pride. Jackson has pockets here, pockets there. I'm from Washington, D.C., I'm moved by many others, you know what I'm saying? And there's that pride there to where now I see that the pride is stepping up to the plate. There are different pockets all around the city, and then of course we have so many beautiful colleges here. I love me being an alumni of Jackson State. One of the most beautiful things that I saw was when Coach Deion Sanders was here. And I see it now still trickling and still being here and getting stirred back up with Coach TC, that we're proud of Jackson State. It has Jackson's Mississippi name embedded in it, you know. And so there's this pride that we have as citizens of Jackson. You know, we proud of where we're from, regardless of how they portray us on the media or try to make it look bad and whatever. You know, you are a Jacksonian, you're a Jacksonian, and you're proud of it.
That's right.
Absolutely. So I'm familiar with you and Ms. Foster and you being businessmen and women. So this is going to be a little bit more into the policy side of things. So you talk about workforce development, but businesses often leave rural Mississippi because of weak infrastructure and low consumer demand. How do you convince employers to invest in the city of Jackson or Mississippi in general?
Creating the opportunity as them to have qualified employees, meaning soft employability training, skills, onboarding, orientation. I think we've had a bad rep in that area because people were not properly onboarded or properly trained and developed in that area. If any of you are LinkedIn fans, I saw something interesting on LinkedIn where they say most jobs you can train people in, stop hiring people because of their degrees. They're saying that most jobs you can just get someone that has a good heart and intends to come to work and honest and has integrity, and you can practically train them in what it is you need them to do. The bigger picture is this. Imagine if when you got an employee, that company knew that that employee had went through certain steps to prepare them. A lot of time we're trying to manage people. You don't manage people. You manage policies and procedures. You put protocol in place. So if we knew the culture that a company wanted to bring their people into, not just the benefits, not just the paid sick leave and PTO and all that, but literally this is the culture we want to create in this plant, in this workforce area. And then they could actually have facilitators to train those people and prepare those people. I believe that we will attract more people. There are people that want to bring businesses here, but they're afraid about the pool of people to pull from, right? And whether those people are qualified necessarily, and then are they able to be trained, or are they going to be malleable, and be able to be trainable so we can put them in those positions. Myself, I've worked as a substitute teacher all the way up to a district employee because I saw the culture. And I may not necessarily agree with everything, but I didn't come in every day complaining about the culture. You know, I immersed myself in the culture, and then I brought solutions, and I brought a good spirit, and then that would be recognized. Same thing with any organization. How many of you have really out there seen someone that come in and then next thing you know, they're moving up in the company? It's because they know the company, and they represent the company well. They can talk to you. You my coworker.
That's right.
But then all of a sudden when the boss comes in, you start saying, go talk to him. Go tell the boss. You make them the spokesperson. Why? Because you saw their attitude. You saw how they were malleable, how they weren't easily provoked. I think one of the things as well that's hurting us, not just with business, but also in relationships, partnerships, and throughout the city, is that people have a problem learning how to gauge their emotions.
Right. That's a huge problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's something I haven't heard before, because you often hear a lot of folks talk about bringing businesses into Jackson, bringing more jobs into Jackson, but what businesses and jobs are we exactly bringing into the city? Are the constituents, do they meet the requirements to actually get into these jobs? So one thing that I really appreciate you bringing up is the fact that you're going to make sure that these people have the set of qualifications and skill sets that they need to actually not only have more business opportunities, but for them to be qualified enough to get these jobs and actually sustain upwards mobility. And so I'm gonna drive us into our next question. And in Mississippi's 2nd Congressional District, approximately 25% of residents live below the poverty line. And so when you look at that reality, what do you see as the biggest driver of poverty here? And what's your plan to break that cycle for families in this district?
We need to understand that poverty creates crime and violence. So the crime and violence is an after effect of the poverty, right? And the poverty is because economically there are not enough opportunities, just like what you said. Now, are the opportunities intentional? Like some people say, well, they're intentionally taking jobs away from us. No. I want each one of us right here, right now, to think about, I'm a business owner, and I'm investing millions of dollars into a company. I'm going to ask each one of you, what would you want from your employees and what would you want for your bottom line? Those two questions.
What would you want?
You are a person that has created a company. You come to Jackson, Mississippi. What's the main thing you want from your employees, and what is your bottom line?
Well, the first thing I'm looking for my employees is a will to serve,
Okay.
number one. And I'm also looking for their qualifications.
Now,
Do
you
they
hear
mean to
what,
serve?
you hear what he said, serve.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say work.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa?
Yeah, for me, bottom line, I want to see that revenue is produced, that there is profit being
Without
made.
revenue being produced, you can't continue to pay them to work, right?
Right,
right.
there's no business.
But what
So-
do you want from your employees?
Oh, what do I want from I want them to work. I want them to produce.
You want them to produce. If they're on an assembly line and you need certain amount of things
Right.
done on the assembly
Right.
line a day, you want that quota to
That's
be met.
right. Right.
You, Brother James.
I need dedication, commitment, but I also need them to want to be there, because it doesn't matter how qualified they are, how hard they work. If they don't want to be there, they're not going to give their best.
I'm not
Right.
gonna get their best.
So I definitely want to be someone that wants to be there, and I also want them to give their best. But I also want them to be somebody that's not looking to work for me forever.
Right.
I want
Oh,
to be
you want them
somebody
to
that's
move up.
looking to grow from within, and you know, maybe start their own,
So-
become their own millionaires.
So you want them to have, you said commitment or dedication? Which word did you use?
Both,
Both? Okay. And then your bottom line.
right?
What's your bottom line? Grow.
Growth, right?
Move up through the company or go,
Move up,
go
yeah.
start your own, right?
Right, right.
And yours was,
It was productivity.
and bottom line. You want productivity from the employees, but what was your bottom line? Well, your bottom line is productivity. What do you want from
Productivity.
your employees?
I-
You want them to work.
Yeah. I
You
do.
said serve and what?
Produce.
Definitely to produce. I would say produce as well.
But you want them to be like a servant, right?
Yes.
So purpose is discovered through serving.
Mm-hmm.
You can argue with me all day, and when you finish, I'm going to say purpose is produced through serving.
Mm-hmm.
You discover your purpose through serving. If you come to a job and say, I'm coming there to serve,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm coming to contribute, it's called ownership. They taking on ownership.
Right.
A lot of people are displaced from their job. Like, I'm just going in to get $1. I'm just going in to get a paycheck. But if you can create a culture to where they feel like that they're part of the company,
Right.
That's the part that
Right.
Part of
I
the
wanna
vision.
talk about a little bit is culture, company culture.
creating culture. So we have
Yeah.
culture, but we have subculture.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
And culture
Creating
is
culture.
culture is what produces.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Like, look, I can dislike you,
Right.
but if you messing up the company culture, hey man, we don't do that around here.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you messing up the bar. As a matter of fact, I like the owner.
Yeah.
The owner's been good to us. Not in no old massa. I'm talking about the owner has been great to us. He's given us opportunity. We make a
Right.
good product.
Right.
I come here. I like him. I get up. I'm excited about coming to work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Company culture.
Want to be there.
Yeah.
That's
I was gonna say I was
yeah.
gonna talk a little bit about company culture, and that comes from good leaders. Company culture comes from leadership, because a leader is someone who imparts into someone else and helps them to discover their leadership ability. That's what culture does ultimately. And then you have to create, as a leader, you create the culture for other leaders who do what Brother James said. They're dedicated and they want to be there. You give them a sense of purpose and pride.
And when
in
this
that
one's moving up,
organization.
someone
Right.
else is coming in.
Right.
Exactly.
And there comes the
Absolutely.
mentorship part,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Not me standing. Oh, man.
Everybody, look, he just put us in the hot seat. He's supposed to be in the hot seat, but he put us in the hot seat. Why he got us in the hot seat when he's supposed to be in the hot seat?
Everyone contributed from something that is called healthy discourse,
Right.
from
Right.
being able to share different opinions and build a bear of sort
Right.
of productivity, success, and vision, right? So now anybody that wants to come to Jackson, Mississippi, and bring a company, they know that they need to be coached and cultured,
That's right.
Right.
right?
Right.
Right? You can't just slap some rules at people and expect them to just. You have to be able to coach them, and like I said, when you said I want them to grow, I love that. Why?
Absolutely.
Because if they are trying to grow, they not busy trying to block the young buck or the young lady coming in because they feel threatened and intimidated
Right. That somebody gonna get the job.
that somebody gonna get their
Yeah.
job. No,
Yeah.
there's another opportunity for you.
Right.
I like people that stick and stay, but I don't want you to stick and stay like you done failed the 12th grade 5 times.
Which again is why I think there should be term limits.
Yeah.
Now, we know we're talking about the congressman and things like that, but I think after a while, you outgrow the people that you're serving. I don't mean outgrow is get too big for them, but time changes.
Yes.
We're living in a time, 2025 is not like it was in 2000. It's not even like it was in 2018.
That's
Exactly.
so
So
true.
if you're not somebody
So
that
true.
can grow
That's true.
and adjust,
Right.
you know, with the changing of
Right.
times, I believe there should be term limits. I think maybe 3 or 4 terms tops, but there should always be somebody else. Even if you plan on being there to the day you die, every leader should always be bringing up somebody else to step in that position. And I think what we're missing in a lot of our leadership is they're not bringing up that next person to do the job. So if they walk off, if they, we won't say pass away, if they just decide, hey, I'm going to do something different, there's nobody to fill that void that could step in and keep the ball rolling.
Right.
A lot of times we got to stop, pick the ball up,
Right.
and then draw your arm back and then roll the ball
Yes.
again. But we need somebody who can keep that ball rolling. If Mr. Foster step away, Zion step up, and he
Right.
can keep the ball rolling.
he's been
And that's
around
what
me.
we're missing in leadership.
And he's been around me to
Exactly.
where
A
he
succession
has the
plan.
same relationships that I have.
Right.
He has now some ideas of his own.
Right.
I heard him say, "Do you mind if I take this and maybe work on this?" Mm-hmm. And you said, "If I like it, we'll roll with it."
That's right.
That's mentorship.
Yeah.
That's
All
right.
Now watch this. The political realm is so screwed up. What do you mean, Mr. Foster? Okay, somebody's been in position for years, right? Mm-hmm. And on the city, on the state, on Congress, dime or whoever, you've been in there, so you don't really need to campaign. Everyone know you already. You've had the position. So the new guy now has to come out and see how much mud he can sling and how bad he can talk about you to make people feel like you are a better choice for him. And they only give you a small window of really like 6 to 9 months unless you jump out here early like we did a year early because we knew that we needed to get the word out that Benny 2.0 was here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Benny 2.0.
Benny 2.0. Yes, sir. What I look like disdaining my own surname.
Their own name.
That's right.
It's something about the Bennies.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
being real.
Yeah,
Benny and the Jets, you know?
And to that point, Benny Thompson has been a long-sitting House representative,
Yes.
so a lot of people are familiar with him. What do you say to those constituents that feel like you don't have as much political capital as Benny Thompson or as enough connections as Benny Thompson to really get things done? What would you say to them?
I honestly feel like politics is part of the problem. I think that experience in politics is part of the problem. I will not succumb to what's the word I want to use? Political tactics, because the people have had that for a while now, and that's why we're still labeled as one of the poorest districts in the state and the nation because of politics. Because I don't like you, you don't like me. 10 years ago, you said something I didn't like. So every time you vote, even if it may help my people, I don't like what you said. I don't like what you did, and it's politics. You're a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm a Republican. You're a Democrat. You're independent. What is that independent? And not a lot of independent. All this is going on, but what about the people? Right. So my intention, every meeting, every opportunity that I can sit down with someone, that I don't just make a whip of a decision, that I'm able to have people on the team to where we've already assessed what does Wilkerson County need, what does Emmett County need, what does Tunica need, what does the Delta need.
Right.
But when these things come across the radar, now let's get with that care coalition down in Vicksburg. Let's find out if they could get a grant sent down their way. Do they have enough liaisons or mentors to mentor these children? We get that grant down to them. Do they have the structure already in place?
That's right.
You know, that's the thing that I need to be listening for the people. I don't need to be guarding
Right.
and so much ready to be so combative.
Right.
I need to be listening and have on my radar what can the people use in these 28 counties, and now sit down with that person and have a courageous conversation with them of what will it take for us to get some of these resources that are right here, that my people right here need.
So
Being
let me
the
ask you-
bridge.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. And don't forget, you all, look, this is a great conversation. I know somebody has a question. Call in 601-387-2684. Here's a question. You're running for congressman.
Yes.
I'm someone that's out in the community. You say, hey, James, I want you to support me. I evaluate everything, and I said, well, you know what, 2.0, at this time, I can't support you. I'm going to support 2.1, 1.0. You in the race. You need something done in the community, and you realize, dang, Hopkins is probably the best one to do this, but he didn't support me. How do you handle that situation?
I make sure that they are the right person for the job, and that happens with a courageous conversation. The mayoral race didn't really know you that well. Didn't know Mayor Horn was going to get in the race.
Right.
Knew Rodney DePriest. Did not know Zach even existed. But here it is on the other side of all of it.
Right.
I'm sitting here with you. You are my friend. I kill a rock, put a tree in the hospital about you.
Right.
I seen your heart. I mean, you had some intimate conversations.
Right.
And I see leadership in you. And if there's somewhere along the line that I see that you would be a person that would fit, I'm not going back to the mayoral race and I was voting for this person and you was running and I didn't vote for you. And none of that matters. That's in the past. I'm going to tell y'all a quick story. When I told an individual that I was campaigning for Congress, they said, oh, wait a minute. They got all excited. And we was riding in the car, and I had them on speaker. And they said, I got 3 questions for you. 3 questions. Since you're gonna run for Mr. Thompson, see, I got 3 questions. I said, what are the questions? He said, how do you feel about Donald Trump? And it's like he was on the other side of the phone counting. How do you feel about Donald Trump? How do you feel about Kamala Harris and DEI? How you feel about it? I said, well, what does these 3 things have to do with advancing the people of the 2nd Congressional District? In what way me answering your questions is going to assist those people with coming out of a status of being one of the poorest districts in the state and the nation? He said, no, that ain't how it go. If you're going to be a politician, you got to answer the questions when people ask the question. I said, okay, I answer your question. I said, well, President Trump is the president. There's nothing we can do about that till about 4 years. I said, Kamala Harris didn't win. That's the quickest answer. So why are we talking about Kamala? She didn't win. And last but not least, DEI has been disbanded. So why are we talking about a dead horse? Now, again, I ask you, what are you going to do to help me help the people? Man, you just may have my vote, man. You may have my... And I'm like, why are we playing politics? Why are we doing all of these what word I want to use? These distractive... division-causing questions that have nothing to do with advancing the people.
Right. Right.
I'm going to take the most extreme thing to try to pull something out of you that has nothing to do with the capability of whether you can help people become leaders in their own community and prepare them for resources and opportunity to advance themselves.
All right.
Well,
2 more questions, Zion.
all right. So you built your campaign on service and faith-based leadership.
Yes.
But Congress, as we were just discussing, is a place where deals, compromises, and sometimes ugly politics are the norm. What's the line you won't cross, even if it costs you politically?
The line that I won't cross. You meaning like something to vote against, or just? Well, first of all, I don't need money. I am money. I've been creative all my life, so you can't buy me. You can't buy me. You can't buy me.
That's right.
I've had fancy cars. I've lived wonderful places. I was living in the 18th floor of a condo in Sunny Isles, Florida before I came back here, minding my business. We had valets, all that. So that you can't impress me. I'm not afraid. You can't threaten me. I did everything under the sun, act the fool without God. So now that I'm with God, I believe God will protect me now too. So the biggest thing I would not do is sell out the people. That's if someone's telling me I would destroy your political career because you won't take this deal, and I know some people are gonna get hurt, and I know it's gonna if I know it's gonna keep the people in a stooped posture or posture of poverty. What I said earlier, poverty produces crime and violence. The crime and violence and the unease of the people, disease because there's no peace.
Right.
Is caused because of an intentional design of withholding certain things, withholding certain people, not allowing solutions to be in place, and that's what I've come to destroy and disrupt.
Let me ask you a question, Rick.
Yes.
Dip in. On the state level, because I do, deal with different states, man. The deal is put in front of you that's going to hurt everybody except for your district, because you really need this for your district. And they say, well, if you really want this for your district, you have to vote for this, which is going to hurt every other district. How do you handle that?
That will be something that I definitely have to take back to my team, because I will not be self-led. The Bible declares that there's the multitude of safety is found in the safety is found in the multitude of counselors, right? And so even now, I'm surrounding myself with people that have wisdom enough to share what they need to share with me and help me in the areas that I may not be as knowledgeable or wise as I would like to be. And I have people from different walks of life now, even in various states, that have reached out to me and say, hey, I'm praying for you, and by the way, be careful this, be careful that. So it's not just, when you see Benny and Lisa, it's not just us.
Right.
There's like about a good 40 people behind us right now that like are talking to us like every other day.
Right.
And so when you ask that question, it's a great question, because I know that it's not, this is what people miss. It's not just Jackson, Mississippi.
Right.
Right? It's not just Yazoo, Mississippi.
Right.
It's not just Meridian, Mississippi. We all are Mississippi.
That's right.
We all got the same last name, Mississippi. Y'all feel what I'm saying? So
sir.
You can't do something in one area that will literally destroy the other areas, because you're still destroying yourself.
Right.
I'm still Mississippi.
Right.
And I think that's what's been happening. I would literally sit down with the other congressmen and the other representatives and say, guys, how can we get this thing that is needed for my county without it being so much of a blowback to you guys? What are some of the things that we can do? I wouldn't sit and be like, well, I can't tell them because they're going to not want me to do it. No, if I tell you it's something that could be detrimental, can we please sit down and have a courageous conversation about how we can still maybe get this resource without it being so much of a burden to the rest of Mississippi? So that's how I would handle that.
Great answer. Great answer.
It's going to be the last one. This is one that most people might want to know. So, Benny Thompson has represented the district for more than 30 years. Why should voters trust you to do better? And how do you avoid becoming just another politician with good intention but little impact?
The reason I want people to consider Benny Foster, and again, this is an alternative. Sometimes we shut down and we get stuck like a deer in headlights when somebody offers us another opportunity. This is not Benny versus Benny. This is Benny or Benny.
Right.
Right? You have to make a choice. And some people are threatened by having to make a choice. So what I would say to you is that all these times you complained, all these times you said you wish that we could do better, I'm going to call you out. I'm here to put you in position to help Mississippi win. Again, it's not follow the leader. It's not everybody look at me. I'm Superman. I put on my cape. No, it's me, the team, coming to you, asking you, what are your challenges? What are your issues? What are your struggles? Now, who wants to step up? Who's going to step up? Who's going to be this person for that? Who's going to be that? Like someone already down in Vicksburg, there's a young lady, Sister Martha Thomas. Hey, Miss Thomas. They call her Mama Thomas. She was doing a Stop the Violence rally, right? And I went down, I spoke at the rally, and there were so many people there because someone had recently passed, right? And so many heart-wrenching, motivational message. And then I said, okay, now I didn't come down here to tell y'all why y'all should vote for me. I came to tell y'all why y'all should vote for yourselves. And let's all come together now and create mentorship programs, after-school programs, educational support programs. Let's now figure out a way to help trade and skills be something instead of guns, you know. And they're signing up. We have to go back down. We went down to Belzonia. We had a 2-day youth conference called the New You. We had that conference on Thursday night. The children said there's nothing here for us to do. By Friday night, they had created a coalition, the Uprising, the Youth Uprising, to where now they're doing their first fall festival. And at that fall festival, they will be introducing to the youth and the parents that we have mentorship programs, we have tutoring programs, and we have a sports program.
We meet with them
So
every Sunday.
we meet with them every Sunday on a Zoom call. So we already reimagining Mississippi.
Wow.
We already out
already
here doing the
it.
work.
Right.
And so if you really are sick and tired of being tired and sick, and you're tired of hearing the same old rhetoric and hearing the same old thing, and again, I am not directing this to Mr. Thompson. I'm saying about Mississippi. Stop complaining and become a champion. Become a champion in your city. Consider the CARE Coalition. Considering reimagining your area. Oh man, if I had some money, I'd put a park right there and let the children play. Guess what? I can see that too. Now let's make that happen. Does everyone understand what I'm saying? This is not about Benny Foster being the end to all of your problems. This is about a person that's willing to come to your city, come to your county, sit down with you, offer me a cookie or something, and let's talk. Let's find out what resources we have now. Let's see what type of relationships we have now that can be the solution to your problems. That's what Reimagine Mississippi is about.
All right. And that's going to do it for this show. We're going to have our closing remarks. Let's start with you, Zion.
All right, that was an amazing segment, Betty Foster. I really
Thank
look
you,
at
sir.
you more as a public servant in this light than a politician. And like I said, we've had private conversations in the past, and you've shown me time and time again that you embrace integrity, nobility, humility. You always offer solutions. You are not a complainer. You are a visionary. And one thing, I just commend you for the work that you've done already and the work that you will be doing for the future of Mississippi.
Thank you, sir. I
All
appreciate
right.
that.
Miss Foster.
I'm excited. This Benny talked about the journey that we've been on, but we've heard so many questions, and the questions that you all ask are absolutely wonderful questions because this is how we gain momentum.
Yes.
This is how we are able to provide solutions by clearing away the objections, right? And so hopefully you all have heard about the experience and the experiences that Benny has and the work that he is not just done, but the work that he is doing and the work that he will always do because Benny's not a politician. Benny is a servant leader, and that's who he is. And what he does is he duplicates the process of leadership and imparts into people so that they can begin to discover their
Absolutely.
own leadership.
Absolutely.
And so that's what's been happening, and that's what we've been doing throughout the 28 counties. And the beautiful thing is that before Benny had even made the decision to agree to run for office, we were doing the work in the community, in these communities,
Second congressional district, like you asked earlier.
and we were actually working in all 82 counties. And this has become a little more relievable to us and relief feeling because we've been able to narrow it down to 28 counties. And so I love the work, I love the people, and you talked about things in Jackson. We've been able to see the pride in Mississippi throughout the 28 counties, and we've been able to see the resources that are there but you just need somebody to help you identify what those resources are. In business, we have several businesses. One of our businesses teaches business owners to do what we call an asset inventory. And everybody has the ability to conduct an asset inventory.
Yes.
And when you're doing an asset inventory with someone who's objective, you begin to see that you have assets that you weren't even aware of.
Yes.
But now you are aware of those things because you have someone from the outside who's able to look objectively into what it is that you're doing, and they can audit what you have. It's just like the woman in the Bible who had the she had to go and gather the jars of clay because she didn't understand that she did have something there. She had a resource. The resource was that you can actually get something from your neighbor to help you yourself, and your neighbor. It's about collaboration. It's about discovering.
Absolutely.
It's about identity and all of those great things. And I can talk for days about this because I have a passion for the people.
Yes.
And we've been working to help the people. And we love it. We love it. We love seeing the impact.
All right, Mr. Foster, last words or shout-outs.
First of all, I want to acknowledge Brother Kirk and the tragic situation that happened earlier, man. This is a person with a family,
Yes.
with children, a wife, and we have to stop being, we have to start resorting to violence when we don't agree with people. No one should feel so strong in their opinion that they feel like they have to kill someone to get their point across. And that's that emotionalism again that we talked about that is destroying us as a people. I'm gonna say two quick things, brother James. I appreciate you and Brother Zion. I'm gonna say two quick things. About 5 years ago, I heard a saying, and they said, "It's easier to fool the people than to convince the people that they've been fooled." That made me angry. As Brother Socrates say, I was good and angry, right? Because it's a true statement, right?
Yes.
So they're telling me that it's easier for me to fool you than to try to show you where you're being fooled, right? That is a mindset, right? That's a mindset shift that has to happen. The second statement I'm going to say is great success is not a secret, it's a system. You discover the systems that work and you duplicate them. I said earlier, you don't manage people, you manage policies and procedures.
That's right.
So why is it that we can't take successful systems that are in other areas, even our own state, and duplicate them in Jackson, in Yazoo,
I agree.
in Tunica, right? In Natchez, right? Why can't we? Because the people won't believe they've been fooled. So I've come to shake people up and disrupt the system and put in another system, showing them where strength, unity, and action is the answer. Strength of what? Being strong enough to say, this is not working. I want to try something new. And I can get involved by creating a new system.
Right.
A system that has been proven to work. See, it's not like let's try it. I guess we'll try it. These systems that we're
Look at the
bringing
data.
have proven themselves over and over and over again in different cultures, different climates, different cities, different counties. The only thing that's keeping us from doing them in our counties that are suffering is that we won't accept the fact that we've been fooled. So once we stop acting like we're not being fooled and being tricked out of what is called prosperity, nothing missing, nothing broken, everything made whole, we will continue to suffer in poverty. So that's why I would say to people, consider Benny Foster Jr. for the 2nd congressional seat for the state of Mississippi.
Wow. Benny just put y'all on the hot seat. He just put me on the hot seat. Last words, closing words. I want to say hello to Marcus Boyd, Sleepy Black,
Marcus.
Donald Bennett, Marquise Jackson, Carol White. Carol White tunes in every week from Chattanooga. Thanks for tuning in, Carol
Hey,
White.
Carol.
Hey.
Keisha Owens, how you doing, Miss Owens over there at Powell Middle School? Chris Williams, he's the guy tuned in every week also. I'm trying to get him on the show, but he don't want to act right. We're going to get out of here. We had a great show today with Mr. Foster and his wife. He is running for District 2. He's running against Councilman Benny Thompson. It's time for a change. It's time to reimagine Mississippi, if that's what you believe. Get out and vote next year. He's starting early, but find a way. Get in touch with him. Tell him how to get in touch with you right quick.
You can go to the website, please, and that is reimaginems.info. Again, reimaginems for Mississippi.info.
All right, that's the website. Get in touch with him. Try to find out. Set up some town hall meetings for him to come to your town, and I'm sure he'll show up, and he's clearly been an open book today. So just give him a chance. It doesn't hurt, and it's time to, kind of keep the ball rolling and maybe move in another direction. We don't know yet. But tune in next week where I will be talking to members of the Jackson State group, Jackson State University group. Girls Against Gun Violence. They will be my guests next week, and we're going to talk about some violence going on in the streets. We're going to talk about some ideas for solutions, and then we're going to also do something that you don't see a lot. It's going to be girls in here actually talking about gun violence. So y'all tune in next week to Your Words, Your Voice on behalf of Zion and Bully.
What's
We
up?
out of
What's
here.
Got a gift for you. That's for you, and that's for you.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all wear those proudly, man, when y'all see
Oh,
them.
man, yeah.
All right?
I needed one for my blazer.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
God bless y'all, man.